Hey everyone, welcome to the third episode of The Corded Tire. That's all I got.
Brought to you by Little Debbie's Cream Pies. We love cream pies around here at the Corded Tire podcast. I'm just kidding. We just have cream pies on the table here. So getting into tonight's topic of discussion, we're going to talk about tire compound and how grippy tires are taking away the fun of sports cars.
And causing some other problems too, because they're expensive and they don't last long and all sorts of stuff.
Breaking wallets of America everywhere.
And inspiring too much confidence for people who don't know
That's
necessarily where that limit is.
That's a very true point. You put grippy tires on a car and it gets rid of a lot of the bad, dangerous habits of it.
And they don't break away progressively either. When they lose grip,
like
a lot of them have kind of a really firm
switch.
wall where they just
They're
break
violent.
and they regain traction really suddenly because they're grippy.
And when that happens is when people freak out and
for a novice
overreact.
driver, it's pretty dangerous. You know,
I always when I try to explain that to people, I say, think about a door. And the stronger the door, the more force it requires for you to push that door open. But when that door does finally push open, it's that much more violent. And that's like kind of how I look at a lot of the more grippy or 200 tread tires, is that you're able to lean on them that much more. But when they do break away, they're definitely more snappy, a little bit more violent at the limit.
the thing that kills me about them is that they don't last. And so like the reason that they presumably did the 200 tread wear was to keep kind of sane tire compounds for a sporty tire you could race autocross with. And then what happened was all the manufacturers made 200 tread wear tires that were so sticky that now they last half a season and they're basically qualifying tires.
Racing spec Miata for 7 years. The new street tires are grippier than race tires 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
Big time.
Yep.
And I found, with the exception of maybe like RE71Rs and some of like the really those ones that are like really like on the bridge of like full on race tires, is that a lot of them heat cycle out before they run out of tread. The grip just goes away.
Yeah, I mean, so longevity is sacrificed. And so instead of being an affordable thing where people can go racing and then drive the tire again on the street, they're qualifying tires and they go away really quick. And I went from when we were running Toyo RA1s on the MR2, I was getting 2 seasons out of fronts and a season out of rears. This set of Rival S's, the last set of Rival S's I had lasted me 6 months.
RE1s were actually like a really well-developed R compound.
I liked
love
those
them.
tires.
They were fast right up until they showed cords and spec Miata. And then after the disaster in Japan there, and Toyo couldn't keep up with the demand for club racing and stuff, they gave the contract to Hoosier, and they were Hoosier SM6s or SM7s. I can't remember the model, but they sucked. You got they were fastest within their first 6 heat cycles, and then that was it. Then they would just go away.
Yeah, I think they should revisit that 200 tread wear class. I think they should just go, okay, now I'm 300 tread wear or something, and just kind of like move the goalpost just so we can go back to having tires that are playful on the street, have some longevity, and allow people to still be quick on track.
Well, like growing up watching Hot Version, Best Motoring, dude, like watch the old track paddles. Those cars are just constantly moving around, and it's awesome because they're like fighting like understeer, oversteer the whole time while they're attacking and like going, toe to toe with each other. You watch, and this is part of the reason why I don't watch a lot of racing now. It's just so fucking boring because there's like no drama on the tires. Like they set these cars up to be like, they don't even like look at a lot of the GT class racing now. They don't even run 360-degree steering wheels anymore. They run Formula One style, like just the hands in here, because this is as much correction as you're supposed to. Like watch like an old Best Motoring video, like Tsuchiya, like time attack, or Gonsan time attacking with like an early NSX or something, which has like a lot of turns lock to lock, and they're like
battling the whole way through.
It's to me that's more exciting to watch.
Yeah, more theater.
Yeah, it's cool watching that. And that's the type of driving style that personally I've really grown to love, because I went through that phase when the 200 tread wear stuff became really popular, and that's all I threw on these cars. But like my ITB car, it makes good power for a Miata, but like it's still 134 or 36 foot-pounds, whatever the hell it makes. So like you put 200 tread wear tires into that, you get a lot of like no drama on the throttle, and it got boring running that on the street.
Yeah, I miss my RE1s. I thought they were really nice on the street.
Yeah.
They were pretty sticky, but they had pretty good characteristics of breakaway. They lasted long enough for me to be happy with them. But now the rivals just go away. They're just like they're just gone in the first couple track events, and it's like, okay, time for another $170 or $190. I don't even know how much they are, but they're not cheap. And so a piece tire, that's expensive to keep throwing tires at cars like that.
I can cite this price right offhand because I just bought them the other day. So for those R1Rs that I just put on the track wheels for the Miata, those are $225, $45, $15. I paid $146 a tire from Tire Rack.
It's not cheap.
No, it's money.
No.
That's like almost $600 for a set of tires. Like, now with that said, I specifically went with the R1Rs because Toyo, Japanese company, and I think that they set those up for more Japanese folk who want to like drift and hooligan. And when we were at Lime Rock with it, that car was pretty well balanced, and I was able to like asshole it around. You know, on the street, forget it. Like it's Lime Rock's kart tracks, like lack of grit surface that allowed me to do that. On the street, like you have to go very fast, use a lot of heavy trail braking and momentum, like get that thing rotating.
Yeah, I get rotation.
Big time. Yep.
I think one of the faults I have with like when I first started driving my Miata hard, like I started immediately on 200 treadwear tires. Like as soon as I put some suspension on the car and started and like registered it, I had Nito NTO5s on it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I didn't really learn the car like I should have because I was never close to the limit on the street. It would be terrifying.
Yeah.
If I were to be at the limit on the street.
I did kind of a similar thing. So my first like getting into sports cars was with the red Miata, like rear-wheel drive sports cars. That was back in 2005. I drove with the tires that came on there, which were like all seasons or whatever, and then I switched to a set of Azeni. I think it was the very first version of the Azeni 615s. They had just switched from the 215s, and stock suspension, like stock everything 1.6 with just those tires and wheels. Like I literally like said I would just like how fast can I like how hard can I just turn this thing into a turn like before it'll like get upset or like not do what I asked it to. And like as a novice driver, then I couldn't like
Reach
but like
that limit safely.
it was bad driving, like getting it like going like I wasn't like on brakes like hard or anything like that. Like I would literally just go fast and like turn the wheel.
Well, you see a lot of these videos of people driving on the internet. You'll see YouTube videos, and people's driving is really abrupt and sudden steering inputs, and like they're not smooth because they don't need to be with these new sticky tires. They're just the tire absorbs that steering input, and instead of driving like learning to drive skillfully, they're just ham-fisted, you know.
I shared my S2000 story. So when I bought the 03 AP1, it came with a set of all seasons on it.
Fuck that, dude. Fucking black tarantula crawling on my neck.
What? Oh, that little guy?
Yeah, dude, I don't like those things. No way.
Whoa. I'll get him.
I thought we were pro-life on this
on me.
show.
I was going to go let him
he's
live
good?
in the corner of the garage
Oh, we're
somewhere.
pro
to get all the bugs?
life. Oh, okay.
We are
human.
I apologize.
I got to rephrase for that.
I'm
We
not
are
into spiders.
life affirmative. Does that sound better instead of saying pro-life?
Oh man, I'm gonna be all itchy.
Oh,
Where'd he go?
who's right there?
Matt fucking
I killed him.
punch-sized that thing's face.
So I know who the violent
All
one
right.
is now.
Anyways, I was gonna let
sorry
him go
about
live
that.
in the corner.
So what are we doing about this? Are we just
Matt
gonna roll
reacted
with it?
real quickly.
Are we just gonna
Yeah,
roll
let's
with it?
just keep rolling.
Oh, I'm in
with it.
charge of killing spiders in my house. I live with three girls.
Oh, I save him.
Yeah, I try not to kill
girls,
shit.
I let him eat the bugs.
I'll kill shit
Yeah.
if it fucks with me, or if
Yeah.
it wants to like some parasite or something. I'm down with killing it.
The Quarter Tire, the #1 show about bugs.
And yeah, what the ethical dilemma that is bugs.
Yes.
Not that spiders are bugs.
Shit, are we safe now?
That's gonna end up in the
the
comment
arachnids.
section.
Yep.
All right.
This podcast is
So
falling
this
apart.
podcast is
Sorry about that
circling the
interruption.
drain. So 200 treadwear tires. I think we kind of all have an idea what we're talking about there.
Yeah.
Another thing we want to talk about today is like maybe some vintagey stuff, maybe some pre 80s cars you guys are turned on by. Is there anything that like kind of,
Wait, we're moving off of the treadwear topic here?
if you want, can we talk about treadwear some more?
I want to make one more point.
Make your point.
All right. So anyways, if you take, what was I saying, the S2000. That's right. I was saying the S2000 story before the spider got his face punch-sized by Matt. So I bought it with all seasons. And again, having racking up my first S2000, I was very cautious with this one, to say the least. And I was, I saw how the car is very edgy with a set of all seasons. Again, I bought it right in like November, December, so I was out enjoying it before the snow and stuff was hitting. But it was cold, so tire temps were very low, and it was definitely a lot more slick. And like I had a couple like oh shit moments, but at that point I had been doing, spec Miata. Like I had definitely honed my driving skills much more. But I switched right to a set of Kumo XS 200 treadwear. Oh no, they were actually 180 at the time. This is like back before like everything was just 200. And what a night and day difference in just the car's behavior. Like, so any of that like real snappy, like, not, I shouldn't even say the S2000 snappy, but any of that real anxious like oversteer, on throttle oversteer was like gone. And the car was just like drama free. And and subsequently it became less fun for me driving like that.
Yeah.
It was cool like for a little while, but then I said, okay, like I'd like to have a little bit of movement.
I know
Way
that
more
the,
playful.
Yeah. The next set of tires I get for my, just normal road driving is not going to be a 200 treadwear.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to step it up.
That's basically where I've been at the last couple of years. So like for cars now, I have 2 sets of tires, one for track, one for street.
Yep.
That's such a pain in the ass, though. I'd love
Yeah.
to just be able to have my tires be my tires. That's what, that's
I
what,
absolutely agree.
Yeah.
when I had the RA1s, I just ran them.
Yep.
And when it got cold, I just put the car away.
Yep.
And that was just what I did. And I liked that setup. I think that was the purpose of the 200 treadwear rule, was so people could run what they want to run on the street and then just drive to the track, go race some autocross and drive home. And I think it's a shame that the tire manufacturers screwed that up.
Yep.
I get they want to be competitive with each other, and I like a tire war and a horsepower war as much as the next guy, but I think this one had some unintended consequences for the consumer anyway. I'm sure the tire manufacturers like that we have to buy 3 sets of
Oh yeah, they probably love it.
rivals a year, but
They should make them competitive, like who can make the best 200 treadwear, the cheapest 200 treadwear tire that has the same level of grip.
well, they have some series. Some of the series I've run is you only get to buy a certain amount of tires for the year,
Yep.
and so you there's a motivation for the manufacturers of the tires and for the competitors in the series to conserve tire, and so maybe that's the solution. Maybe some of these point series autocross things that should be, you get to do 1 set of tires for the year, and they'll give or take a flat or 2 or whatever, But fast guys will definitely get 2 flats. It's like people are always going to peel the onion.
Yeah.
But there should be something. They should make it 400 treadwear. Maybe that's the solution. But
Well, that's the
I
other
think
thing, though.
the 400
Nobody actually regulates the treadwear.
well,
No,
yeah,
I know.
yeah. Well, the
Yes.
UTOG or whatever it is.
So you could say kind of whatever
Should
the
be-
hell you
there
want.
should
It's
be-
honor system.
Yeah, there should be some durometer of rubber that if it's harder than that, it's
Like-
this. If it's softer than that,
RE71R is like 80.
yeah.
Maybe
They
even,
wear it like an 80.
maybe even less.
Well, look at
Yes,
the
they
look at the
do.
Viper ACR's got factory tires that are some crazy. What did they say, 40 treadwear or something? They said it's supposed to be something crazy low, but they're quote unquote 200, right? So
They say.
they say that's the problem. Is the treadwear designation is not regulated.
Yeah.
There should be like something where you can warranty them if you don't get something out of it.
X amount of miles or
No, not that I'm ever in
yeah.
favor of big government stepping in and thing, but maybe needs to be some regulation in terms of like what treadwear really means. Help us, big brother.
All right, should we move on to our next topic, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool vintage cars.
My boss is still harassing me here. I'm sorry, guys. You gotta.
should we wait?
No, just go ahead.
What would you guys rock if you were going to buy something that was reasonably priced and before 1980?
Oh, reasonably
Before
priced, too.
1980?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can't have a 250 GTO.
Yeah.
What?
I was going to say air-cooled Porsche or Cobra, but now we're talking reasonably priced. It's a whole different ball.
So we're talking
Yeah.
Volkswagens and kit cars.
Yeah.
When did the 240Z come out?
That qualifies.
That qualifies, yeah.
Sure.
I
Vintage
always
JDM.
like the look, straight 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of those too.
There's a bunch of cool shit from back then. 510s are cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
You know,
Datsun 510 is
RX3s
awesome.
are cool. I love a first gen Celica. I think they're gorgeous.
You're talking about the Celica Supra, the
No,
when it was
I'm
rear
talking
wheel
about
drive?
before that.
Before that.
Yeah, before
Oh,
that, the Celica Supra is like the 2nd generation or 3rd generation.
Yeah.
I think it's 2nd generation, but the 70s ones, like the
Oh, they kind of looked like
RA29
yeah.
lift back, and what's the other one? The RA21 or whatever. Those cars are cool to me. They get some kind of vintage muscle car
Yep.
vibe to them, but they're little and there's two motors that come in. There's the 18RG and a 20R, which 20R is kind of like what was in an early Toyota pickup truck, developed into the 22R, and everybody's like, it's reliable. Like, it's not a great sports car motor, but whatever.
Well,
you can always swap
didn't the
something cool.
Miata engine start off as a truck engine?
It was a
Ford
323.
Ford Escort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, those
they're the
square body style Ford Escorts had BPs in them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sweet.
A lot
I
of
think
people
they did.
they put valve covers from the Escort onto Miatas a lot. That's
Oh, do they?
That's a common mod.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
You're in deep shit when you're upgrading to Ford Escort parts.
I never understood that. I thought those valve covers look kind of like antiquated and like just more old and poopy.
Yeah.
I
Do they
think
have a
I think the
vintage-
Miata valve
vintagey
cover is
looking
actually
flavor?
like
I
kind
like
of
it,
clean
yeah.
for a valve cover. It's
Yep.
shaped nice and curvy and looks
Is
like
there
a
a
bunch
vintage
of
flavor
boobies.
to the other one?
Memories right on the cam. Oh, I'm sorry, what?
Is there a vintage vibe to the Escort one?
It
it
just
look
looks
more
like a
old-timey?
fucking
It's
square.
like square, and then it's got
Yeah.
lines going down it, I think. Yeah. I don't know.
Sweet.
It looks like 80s.
But what was going on with boobies?
Yeah, I know. He said.
Let's rewind here. Let's talk about.
Look at the cam cover caps.
Oh, in the front?
It looks like
Yeah.
a nice pair of mams, just like memories, like peeking
Product
at you.
idea. You could do like little glue-on nipples.
No, I'm not that fancy, but it's definitely a thought though. See the NB has the cam angle sensor there, so it kind of disrupts that a little bit. But the
Yeah.
earlier ones don't. So
Interesting.
I just kind of made that up on the spot. I just wanted to say something
That was
asinine about it.
That was a tangent. That was great. This podcast is a clusterfuck.
Well, yeah. The point that I'm trying to
Attacked
make
by
is I think that
spiders.
the
man.
stock Miata valve cover
It's
is like
a good looking valve
Yeah,
cover.
why
nice.
not fuck with that? It's,
Yeah, I
it's
wouldn't
clean
fuck
and
with it.
simple.
It's painted nice,
Ford Escorts.
I kind of like when they put cam gears on them and then you, like expose it, so you can.
Or they like
see the
Dremel them
cam
out or
gears.
something.
Yeah.
I like that too, but then what if like a little rock or something gets
Yeah.
up in there? Rocks make
what
their
I
way
was
up.
thinking about too.
Rocks make
Yeah.
their way up there, and those Toyota cam gears were good money. Like I don't want to chew them all up, sending a rock into there.
Would be nice to have them on display though.
I like it though when you can cut it and you get the carbon cover from Marua. But again, NB has stupid cam angle sensors, so I kind of got to run the cover like that.
I've also got the Kevlar blue timing belt too.
Yeah, I have one. Gates.
Yep.
Yeah. Sick.
Nice.
Man, I got an OEM one. That's lame.
Hey, what a loser you are, bro.
We didn't put it on yet.
I can't even believe you bought that. No, I'm just kidding. Stock is fine. I ran stock on the turbo car, always. No
Yeah.
issues.
So vintage stuff.
Oh yeah, vintage stuff. We didn't hear.
See, I'm weird about this. I like vintage cars, but I hate them at the same time because everything rusts more, everything's chintzier, the bodies like kind of start to separate at the pinch welds.
Crash stuff.
Dude, you guys know I love Kiyoshi Tsuchiya. There's a video of his A86 like going in for restoration. Dude, I shit you not, that thing is like splitting at every pinch weld, and they're like seam welded that whole entire chassis to like strengthen it up again.
Yeah. I remember driving my Celica and I was like, don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me.
Yeah, like that's a real.
That car felt sketchy.
That's a real thing, and again, I love the classic look of cars. That's why I have the red Miata. The red Miata, all foofiness aside, I kept that car because it's a car that still looks more classic and old school, but it's a modern car. It handles well. It's got a decently rigid chassis for the day. The roll bar helps a lot in it, but that's a car. It's not splitting apart at the pinch welds and stuff. So my answer is kind of lame, but I used to have an FC RX-7, and I sold it obviously when I moved up into the black FD, and I do miss that car. There was something about that car that was like 80s old school cool to me, and 80s was like a really weird time in the car manufacturing industry. I think a lot of the design language was like dog shit.
Yeah.
So that's a car that I have familiarity with. I know its quirks, and I know that they can look good with a nice set of wheels and the right body kit or lip kit on it. So that would probably be my answer. Kind of boring. But
So not only is it boring, it falls outside the parameters. They didn't make those. They didn't make those prior to 1980.
They were 89, I think.
are we going prior to 80s here?
Prior to 80.
Sorry, I was texting like
It's
that.
all right. It's like
Typical
just stay on,
millennial.
stay on task.
I think
So,
I'm done
get
getting
your
ready.
It's a cool answer.
Oh, sorry.
But,
Man, this is a tanker. All right, so older than A's, you got to come back to me. I got to think about this.
Yeah,
one.
yeah. I tell you, I had a 77 Celica liftback, RA29 body style liftback, and that car drove beautifully. That was, aside from really short gearing, that was a gorgeous little GT car. I thought it looked great, handled really nice. I had star specs on it on early Supra wheels. That was a great little car. Had a nice kind of vintagey vibe interior. That was a delicious little car, and it worked great. And it was pretty much all original. Had 70,000 miles on it, and that car started every morning, drove good, never had any mechanical failures. I had in the 10,000 miles or 15,000 miles I put it on, I had one mechanical failure, and it was a stuck brake caliper. So like for every rubber hose was all looked like was original. That thing held up great. It's a typical Toyota reliability, but that was a good little car.
That's a good answer.
Did begin to have some rust issues toward the end. That's why I got rid of it, was because it was just had a little bubble with the windshield frame and a little tiny bubble in the rocker, and I was like, nope. But I wanted the worst way to put like that 4-liter 1UZ out of the LS400 with some ITBs on that shit with some side pipes. That'd have been fucking awesome.
That'd be a fun car. Yeah, I like that fastback look.
Yeah.
Of vintage cars, front engine, fastback. That speaks a lot to me.
I think if I was going to do one of those cars now, I think I'd do, after hearing that LFX Chevy motor, that'd be pretty awesome, especially with some ITBs in there.
Chassis that split apart.
That's streaky. Well, no, you seam weld it and cage it up. That's the thing is, you do a rotisserie build on it and you make it.
Yeah, you have to.
You just make it awesome.
Seam weld it.
Give the full rally spec.
I'd be down with one of those again. I'd do that again. That was the only. You know what else sucks about that car is it had recirculating ball steering with no power steering. So I think everybody puts 80/86 front suspension in them, and then you're good.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of the chassis stuff's kind of shared with 80/86. You use the coilovers out of them and stuff like that. But
yep.
You can use. I think you can use the control arms. Techno Toy Tuning has control arms and Heim jointy shit, and I think you can use all that stuff on them if I remember correctly. So.
Nice.
So, what would you do for?
What's your answer?
Oh, I was thinking a 240Z too would be something pretty cool. I've always liked that body style. Huh?
Yeah. Tough to beat a Z car. Those are cool.
Yeah.
Those are. I liked when Nissan brought them back out. Remember when Nissan like bought a bunch of them back and then restored them, and you can buy a brand new 240Z at the Nissan dealership?
When did they do that?
In the 90s.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome.
They just announced they were like putting a lot of like R32 Skyline shit back into production, like parts and stuff, which is awesome.
Yeah, it makes me respect that company a lot more.
You listening, Mazda? Why don't you start making fucking 3-rotors again
Didn't Mazda
for me?
do that for the
Miata, or Toyota too? You can't even buy a 1ZZ for an
they have a
Mazda
program
does
for the
stuff
Miata
for the Miata, but
for
like
the NA.
rotary, you can't get 3-rotor stuff anymore. That's why it's so goddamn expensive.
Yeah, I mean, that's bullshit that the manufacturers phase out these parts while these cars are still on the road. You can't buy a 1ZZ for an MR2.
Yeah, it's sad.
That's bullshit. That car's a 2000. That motor's discontinued, out of stock forever.
Dude, Honda killed the S2000 engine. You can't even buy an F20 or an F22C brand new anymore.
That's bullshit.
And that's like not an easy motor to rebuild. Because of the way it's all tightly toleranced and those FRM, the Kevlar reinforced sleeves. You're not supposed to hone those sleeves. People do it.
They're
like
Nacus Hill or whatever.
fiber reinforced material. FRM.
Yeah, same thing with the MR2. It's a metal matrix composite. Everybody who builds these motors fucks them up anyway.
That's what I'm saying.
Nobody builds them in these like hermetically sealed, climate-controlled environments and lab coats and kills themselves if they dishonor their company by fucking up the rod bearing tolerances. Like, I want a motor built by some Japanese guy in a lab coat.
So you gotta do it yourself.
Like, has a special sword to disembowel himself if he does a bad job on your build. Like, that's quality control right there. It's good shit.
Oh man.
Did you say your car?
I actually thought of a different one. I
got?
changed my mind from the Z.
You said Z also?
I said the Z originally. It's
I'm
obviously
gonna
one of the
think
most
something
beautiful
else now,
cars.
too. I was just gonna say Z.
Ford Escort Mark 1.
Huh?
I'm a big fan of that.
Ooh, you know what video I fucking love is the one with I think it's Ken Block and some other kid, and they're ripping around that blue vintage like rally spec. First, I think it's an early Escort.
Yeah,
he has
Mark
one.
Yeah.
He has.
They're on like
they're
at some like it's like some rally camp and like it's like all dirt grounds and stuff
Those
that.
got rallied a lot.
Dude, that is awesome. And then Ken Block built one after that, right?
Yeah, he has his like 300 horsepower NA one.
Yeah, and that's sick too.
Yeah.
You know what?
That's a good choice. I like that.
You know what'd be chill? I typically hate Euro shit, but like a BMW 3.0 CS.
Ooh.
Oh, those are cool.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah. Those are 70s, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could
That'd be
totally
cool.
get it. I think that's like
It'd be
early
broken all the
70s
time,
too.
but they're cool.
Yeah, but you know what? They'll put like an S50. Well, I wouldn't say S54 because it's iron.
Put some
block.
newer, unreliable BMW.
Yeah, put some newer unreliable one. But at least you can get parts for it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so like it's gonna break down a lot, but you can still get parts and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be chill with some high revving, you know, E46 M3 drivetrain swapped into it or something.
So I was gonna say 240Z also, but now that's really cliche. So I would pick RX3.
RX3.
I put a nice like. Technically, the peripheral port that we're testing on my red Miata, probably that same design. It makes somewhere around 260, 270 wheel NA, and that car would be nice and light.
Those could look really cool with some wide body, like over fender kind of stuff going on.
I really dig that, like with the pointy front splitter,
Yep.
or whatever, that exaggerated lip, and then the big over fenders and like nice dished wheels.
Yep.
The only thing that I don't love about the RX-3, which they didn't need it, I understand they designed the car around the rotary platform, is that it's a little bit squished from the side profile. I
Yeah.
wish it was just a little bit more hood.
A little long, yeah, a little longer.
I like that long wiener hood look, like this thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's like one of my favorite features about it. It's just got a big giant cock out in front of you. It's like, watch out.
Here I come.
Here I come. Get out of my way. Oh, disaster.
It's like Peter Griffin.
We're never going to get
Peter,
sponsored by Little Debbie talking
No,
like this.
no, for sure. You ever see the Family Guy episode where he has that sports car? It's like the big long hood and he's like
You
driving in
through
and out of the tunnel.
Hell yeah.
It's awesome.
That was my avatar on the forum for a little
I
while.
bet. You are always drawn to those kind of like real long nose kind of cars.
It's funny, like I just like long hood cars, but like it's a funny way to play. It's like, oh yeah, I like the big long dick hood on it. So
See, I'm kind of the opposite. I like a long tail. I like to know that engine's behind like an NSX or an MR2 or like I like those cars where there's clearly a mid-engined aesthetic
Yeah.
going on.
I don't
like
know,
that
something
shit.
about sitting on the rear wheels is like, it's just what I like. Even S2000 is kind of wiener hood. You sit
It is
far
it
back
is
in
fun to
that
sit on
car,
the rear
like-
wheels. I feel like you're communicating a lot with what the rear end's doing and stuff.
Yep.
I agree.
It's like the Viper. You feel like you're sitting right on them.
Same
almost,
thing, yeah.
The way it drives.
That's a
Um,
long hood.
Oh yeah, that's a real long hood. Expensive.
Yeah, well, that's why that was like my driving factor for the Viper. I'm like, this is the ultimate like wiener hood car. It don't get any longer, more wiener than that. You know, that
Or
car
shapely.
is all hood. But I love the look of the Viper. Like 3/4 profile from the rear going front, not even looking at the penis hood. Like
Gen 2.
that's like my favorite angle. That yeah, Gen 2.
Gen 2.
Beautiful.
Every
Blue with white
podcast.
stripes.
Actually,
comes
even
back to the
Gen
Viper.
5 has that angle too. Like,
Yeah.
It's always,
can't
it
picture
always
it.
circles back around to the Viper.
yeah.
Every podcast is like, you know what we should talk about?
Yeah, it does
Viper.
always come up.
Dude, like, there's a good. Like,
Viper's the
there's
answer,
not a
I
lot
guess.
of cars that excite me anymore, and that's still one of the ones on the list I would own.
Yeah.
I would buy a Viper, yeah.
Yep. The ACR Extreme that went by me today, my jaw dropped to the floor.
Oh, they fuck. There's no car with. I think, anyways, that car just has like such street presence. Like you
Yeah.
fucking know that thing's coming out. It's not like a Vet, right? Like if you have a Z06, like somebody's like, oh, it's just another Corvette or
Yeah.
a Porsche.
You can be a complete fucking poser and drive a Corvette Z06,
Yep.
but you're.
But I'm saying like
I
because
guess,
they
I guess
make
you could
like
probably be a complete fucking poser and drive an ACR, but it's less likely that you're
Gonna last long
gonna
driving. it.
last.
you know what I mean. Though
You're
there's
gonna
like
survive.
there's no mistaking it. Like a Vet, like you can have a Z06 and somebody's like, oh, he's just got a Corvette. You
Yeah.
can have a GT3
Yeah.
911. They're like, oh, you just have a Volkswagen
Yeah.
Beetle.
They're
Like,
Yeah.
not nearly as common. Yeah.
But if you have a fucking Viper, like
Okay,
it's
Jeremy
like,
Clarkson.
yo, motherfucking Viper. Like there ain't no mistaking that for anything.
Comes with a mullet.
No way, dude. Viper's a sophisticated car.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I've spent a lot of time in ACRs comparatively to what I thought I was gonna spend in ACRs, and they're really fucking good.
Yep.
They're really good.
They're not perfect, but
You
they're
can see
awesome.
why all lap times just fall to those cars. You can see why.
Big engine, big tires, big everything.
Big arrow.
Big arrow,
Yeah, good chassis tuning.
big phallus.
Yep.
What?
Look
So
like
wrong. So speaking of vintage cars, we want to talk about the ones that are selling for ludicrous money.
What was the 250 GTO is like the most money anyone's ever gotten for a car,
Was
right?
it like 67 million or something?
I
like
think it
that?
was 70. Yeah, somebody 70.
Something
something.
ridiculous.
I just like I would
Yeah.
love to know like what a person does in their life that they can just drop 70 million or whatever the hell that much money was on a car that they're probably never even gonna like really drive.
It's just gonna
The
stay.
thing I wonder is it because they absolutely love that car more than like
I would
so
assume
much,
so.
or is it just that they got in a pissing contest with some other guy that kind of wanted that too, and that's the game. You
I
know what I mean?
I think, and I could be completely wrong. This could just be like my dickhead speculation that I tend to do from time to time. But I think that the people who buy those cars, they want it because it's a coveted item, not really that they want it because it's like an enjoyable car. I think that's really more what it is to say I have this, and not many people do. But I could be very wrong in that.
Don't get me wrong, that's a dope fucking car.
Oh, it's one of the most beautiful
I
cars
bet
ever
on a
made.
back road, I bet that car is heavenly.
Really?
Oh yeah.
You ever see, I think it was Petrolicious,
Yeah,
the
I've seen
YouTube channel? They did the 10 minutes of driving a 250 GTO through the mountains. That was...
I mean, I think they're okay, but like that gearbox doesn't look too eager to shift, especially by the way the guy was like trying to hammer on it.
I mean, you're not like trying to shift fast.
All right, so
yet.
I'm being a poo-pooing about this because again, I'm thinking that's a $70 million car. I couldn't even fathom like driving $1 million car.
Well, the thing is,
but
it's
like,
not a $70 million car.
No.
It's just a car somebody paid $70
how much would
million.
you pay for a Ferrari 250 GTO realistically?
I'm broke, dick, man. I can't even quantify that amount of money. I mean, I think that car should be worth $250,000, $300,000, $500,000. I don't know. I mean, the fact is, look at what just a supercar costs now.
But that's not even a supercar.
Well, it was back then.
Yeah, but that's not by any means anymore. I would pay $25,000.
Get the fuck out of here. I would buy it from you for $26,000.
I would sell it to
And
you
I
for
would
that.
be stoked.
I would sell it to you for that.
Dude, the thing that's amazing about that car is kind of the thing that you think you won't like about that car. I bet you know sometimes what defined a supercar when I was a kid and when we were kids was its flaws. Was that these cars were like you had to open the door and sit on the door sill to back it up, and like these sacrifices that you had to make that you had to make to make that driving experience happen. Like it was okay for the car to not be perfect because it was imperfect in ways that were exquisite.
Yeah.
And I think that the 250 GTO probably provides a shitload of that.
I think a lot of what you're paying for too is the history
Yeah.
with the car as well.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, the remaining real ones have a very
That
significant-
provenance,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I think I would rather have was it 65 Aston Martin DB5. I could be wrong on the year, but I've always loved that car. I don't know if it's just because it's the James Bond car.
That's a cool car.
I see that car and
Yeah, they had
That's-
one at Vintage a couple of years ago, and it was just
we looked at
it's a
that.
little
It was on
worthy, man.
auction.
What a beautiful car.
That was that BRG one, right?
I thought it was silver.
Yeah,
But-
it's either
I
gotta
thought
be
there
one
was
of
a
those
British
two
Racing
colors.
green one that was there.
Yeah, they might have.
Well,
There
it
was a bunch of Astons that year, and
It was
there was
pretty.
a bunch of awesomeness.
Every time I see those cars, they get me a little bit. I like it.
Yeah, there was when we were at Vintage this year. There was a Bugatti was the featured mark, and there was just a shitload of these cars that, like, I'm sure are stupid money.
They race them though.
Yeah,
They race
yeah,
them.
I think
I
that's
give
fucking
that-
awesome.
I
If
give
these
those
people are
guys
going
a lot
wheel
of
to wheel
credit.
with those
Yeah.
cars. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But I was walking through them, and I was just like, can't imagine wanting to spend that kind of money on these cars. You know, they're awesome for what they, especially for back then. They're amazing. But like,
But again, like maybe it's more the nostalgia thing. Like when I think about cars like that, right? Like I'm always gonna default back to the FD, right? If I have a car that like would always just gets me on every angle, you know, it's the FD. So maybe there is a justification for paying that much money for a car, you know, because like as far as I'm concerned, this cost is no object. I'll spend whatever money I spend on that car. I don't care.
yeah.
I'll keep
And
throwing
who
money
knows
at
what
it.
the story is behind these people? You know, I think because we haven't lived these people's lives, it's easy to be like, oh, that's fucking crazy. These guys are
Yeah.
assholes, rich assholes. Blah. But like, maybe one of these guys' dads had a Bugatti type whatever the fuck when he was a kid. Like,
Yeah.
that, you know, he took him for drives in it, and like that maybe that was defining moments of that person's lives were spent in that car.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
and so maybe it means something completely amazing and
Yeah.
intangible. So I mean, it's easy for us to sit in a fucking garage and go,
as I hop into my Miata, see you later.
yeah, like we're fucking experts on anything, but like, you know, and so you don't know other people's story, but it just seems like such a tremendous sum of money to spend on one of anything.
I personally, if I had that much money, I would not drop it on a car. I just wouldn't. I could never justify that. There's so many other things.
I couldn't even just drop it all on lots of cars.
Yeah, That's
Yeah.
too much. It's too much money.
I would never want to drive around in it at all. I would be so worried about doing something.
I'd rather go-
Or you
up.
insure it for more and then
Yeah.
wad it up on purpose.
If I had $70 million, I'd rather go feed
that
a
I'm
bunch of
advocating
hungry
insurance.
children and then like buy like an NSX or something. I'm serious though, because like to me that's just like a gross amount of money, and it's just like for something I can't put a value on a car like that. I just could never.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a whole separate issue where, people have that money that they can spend on a car is the bigger problem.
Yeah.
Well, maybe those are the people. Maybe that's just not really that much money to them,
Yeah. Well,
which is crazy. Like
Yeah.
maybe that's just like well, it's a little bit of a stretch, but I'll just work hard next month. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah. What about you?
What about me?
What's your old car? You can have one.
Oh, we already talked about this.
No, like old one, like realistic, or not unrealistic.
Like unrealistic.
Yeah, sorry, unrealistic.
Oh, unrealistic now?
Yeah, I'm not going and buying a DB5, however much they cost.
Yeah.
It's too much for my blood.
Yeah, what's your
Oh,
absurdly
I've got one.
overpriced? This
I've
will be
got
the this will
one.
be the talk about.
This will be
You
the
got
ending.
one?
What's
I
your
got one.
absurdly overpriced vintage car
I got one.
pick?
If you got
Ready.
one,
I
fire
got
off.
one. I don't fit in
Yeah.
it, but I got one.
All right, I'm just gonna stick with DB5, short and sweet.
3.5. I think mine's the most beautiful car ever made. It's a Jaguar D-Type.
Oh, D-type. I thought you were gonna say E-type. Don't you
No,
dare say
no,
fucking
no,
E-type.
not
What's that
E-Type.
prototype race car one with the
Finn.
V12?
The
The one that was in Gran Turismo like 5 or 6. It was British Racing Green, and it's got no roof, and it's got like window that goes like wraps around. You gotta like open the thing to open the door.
Is that the fin behind the driver?
Maybe.
The one fin. That's a D-Type.
Yeah, D-type
That's
looks
dope.
like really
Yeah.
It looks like
I
an
think it's-
Fucking dope, dude.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
and that came out in the 50s.
Yeah.
Like that thing in the like I think that thing is beautiful. Like
wanna
it's
see a
it's
D-Type.
the most beautiful car ever made, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll drop pictures down for
Yeah.
Yeah. I
for
just-
viewers.
So my pick would be Toyota 2000 GT. They're absurdly overpriced, but they're fucking awesome. And I don't fit in one at all. I sat in one at Lime Rock a couple of years ago, and I was like,
So you want a car that you can't drive?
yeah.
You could look at it.
What about you, Sierra? What do you got?
I'm still not really too sure on the
That's not what I'm
old
saying.
cars. I would love to have an F40, but that's not that old.
What the fuck? It's the 80s, buddy.
I know.
You're just as bad as me now saying that.
I know, it's like my mind keeps going back to like these more recent cars.
Just pick one. Eleanor. GT500.
Eleanor is a beauty.
There you go.
She is a beauty.
I would-
That
I would
always
take
spoke
my-
to me.
Yeah, I always liked that car too.
Yeah.
I always feel like I'd rather have the GT350 than the GT500.
Mm.
I mean, Eleanor looks good, but if you look at every other GT500 compared to the GT350s, I think the GT350s just look better.
Yeah, they're a little bit prettier.
Okay, I was thinking of the Jaguar XJR13
Oh, that's beautiful too. I mean, Jaguar.
because I think that is like
Yeah.
Oh,
Mm. We'll put it up on the
Yeah.
screen.
because that thing is tits. So yeah, I have that.
I was
I want one of those.
There's just nothing else like the Jaguar D-Type though. It's
You know, I just thought of something. If we're gonna try to get sponsored by Little Debbie, we shouldn't be saying things like tits. We should say like mammaries.
Memories.
Just a thought.
Correct.
Okay. That thing is memories.
dream to get sponsored by Little.
You guys watch. One of these days it's gonna happen. I'm gonna
Yeah,
get an
big
email
time
for Garage
sponsorship.
Quinn Motors and they're gonna, Little Debbie. We like your show.
Is that how she
It's gonna be
sounds?
Little Debbie's lawyer. It's gonna be emailing you.
Oh no, I expect an email from Little Debbie or else deal's off.
I don't think Little Debbie's probably even a person.
Do you think it's a sham?
I mean, it's just like a
What
marketing.
are you gonna tell me? There's no Wendy?
Where does it end?
I think there
Yeah.
was.
That's it. I can't talk anymore. I'm so upset. All right, guys. I think this is a good place to cut this one off.
Descending into madness.
If you made it this far, thank you.
We're sorry. We're so sorry.
Well, we do not apologize publicly. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Thank you all very, very much for tuning in. Till next time, done.
I like just calling it "Toss me the cream pie, Quinn."
People are gonna be like, what? Click.
Do I have to play? Do I have to play George Michaels?
You do whatever you
Of
want.
him slow motion eating the cream pie.
I like the
Have it
element of
zoom
surprise.
in on him.